The first time I heard the scratching, I thought it was rats. It was just past midnight. My apartment, a cramped studio on the edge of the city, was half lit by the glow of the street lamp outside. I'd been up late finishing a design project when the faint noise came from the balcony door, like claws dragging against the glass. Froze listening. Scratch, scratch. Damn stray cats, I muttered, getting up. I lived on the 5th floor. There was no way anything should be up here, but the old building had enough oddities that I'd stopped questioning them. I pulled back the curtain. Nothing. Just the empty balcony, the fog rolling in from the river, and the chill wind brushing my skin. I shrugged it off and went back to my desk. Then came the knock. 3 times. My breath caught. Who's there? No answer. I unlocked the door and stepped out, half expecting to see a neighbor. Instead, a flash of russet fur darted past my legs and into my apartment. Hey! Yelp. It wasn't a cat. It wasn't even close. The creature stood on 2 legs, small and slender, wrapped in a tattered cloak. 2 pointed ears twitched atop her head, and 9 fluffy tails curled and shimmered behind her like living flame. She blinked up at me with golden eyes. "You left the door open," she said simply. For a long, awkward moment we just stared at each other. I must have looked like an idiot, jaw half dropped. What are you?" She tilted her head, ears flicking. "I'm a fox," she said, as though it explained everything. Then, narrowing her eyes, she added, "And you're very rude for shouting at someone you just met." "You broke into my apartment," I snapped, though my voice cracked halfway through. "I didn't break in. Slipped in. There's a difference." She sniffed the air, then wandered to my kitchen. Human food. You have noodles." I stood frozen as she rummaged through my cabinets, tail tips swaying lazily. Finally I found my voice. "You can't just look, whoever you are, you need to leave." She turned, holding a packet of instant ramen. "You're not going to make me leave." "Why not?" Her lips curved into a mischievous smile. "Because I've chosen you." The second night she was back again. I'd locked the balcony, sealed the windows, and even stuffed towels under the door. Didn't matter. I woke up to find her curled at the foot of my bed, tails wrapped around her like a blanket. "Good morning," she said, yawning. How did you even get in?" "I told you," she murmured, rubbing her eyes. "I've chosen you. My magic obeys that." I rubbed my temples. "Your magic?" She nodded. "Every fox spirit needs a mate, a soul she can tether herself to before her power fades. I've been searching for years." She gave me a small, crooked grin. "You smell right." "I smell right." She sniffed again, amused. "Warm. Kind. Lonely." That last word hit harder than I expected. I'd been living alone since college, my family halfway across the world. My days were quiet, my nights quieter. The loneliness had become a familiar weight. Still, I couldn't just let a mythical foxwoman move in. "You can't stay here," I said firmly. "This isn't normal." Her tails drooped. For the first time she looked small. "I have nowhere else." Days passed. Every time I came home she was there. Sometimes cleaning, sometimes dozing on the couch, sometimes humming strange songs from a language I didn't recognize. I tried to ignore her. But the apartment, once silent, now felt alive. She'd leave little gifts. Flowers on the table, steaming bowls of soup, the faint scent of cedar and snow that lingered after she passed. One evening, I found her standing on the balcony, watching the city lights. "You really can't stay forever," I said softly. "I know." Her voice was quiet. "My kind doesn't belong here. The human world. It eats away at us. But until I fade, I want to stay by your side. She turned, eyes gleaming gold in the dark. That's what it means to be mates. I hesitated. Why me? Because when you opened that door, she said, stepping closer, you didn't scream. You looked at me like I was real. That night, I dreamed of her world. Silver forest, rivers of light, 1,000 foxes dancing under twin moons. When I woke, she was sitting beside me, her fingers tracing faint patterns in the air. You dreamed of me, she whispered. You were in it, I admitted. She smiled sadly. Then my time is almost over. What do you mean? The bond completes the moment you dream of us together. It means I've given you my soul. Before I could reply, her tails began to glow, soft white light spilling over the walls like morning mist. She touched my cheek, warm and trembling. Don't be afraid, she said. Part of me will stay with you. And with that, she vanished, dissolving into motes of golden light that drifted into my chest like falling stars. Weeks later, my apartment feels empty again. But sometimes when I cook ramen or step out onto the balcony, I catch her scent on the wind, cedar and snow, faint and familiar. And when I close my eyes, I swear I can hear her whisper, soft as a sigh. Mate. Winter came early that year. Snow drifted against my balcony door, quiet as breath. I hadn't seen her in months, yet every night I still left the door unlocked, just in case. One evening, while sketching by lamplight, I felt it again, that soft scratching against the glass. My heart lurched. Slowly I turned. She stood there. No glowing tails this time, no cloak of magic. Just a woman barefoot in the snow, her russet hair dusted white, her golden eyes shining with something achingly human. I told you I'd come back, she whispered, smiling through the cold. I stumbled toward her, afraid to blink. You're real. She reached out, her fingers warm against mine. Part of me stayed with you. Your warmth called me back. I pulled her inside, wrapping her in a blanket. She looked around the room, the same room she'd once filled with laughter and chaos, and laughed softly. You kept everything the same. I didn't want to forget you. She leaned against me, eyes closing. You never will. But this time, she murmured, I won't fade. The bond made me human. As long as you still want me here. I tightened my arms around her. Then stay. Outside, the storm howled and the city lights blurred into gold. Inside, for the first time in a long time, the air felt alive again. Warm, alive, real. She looked up, her smile trembling. Then we begin again, my mate. And as I kissed her forehead, the faint shimmer of foxfire danced behind her eyes. Proof that the magic had never truly left. Somewhere deep in my chest, I felt her heart beat with mine. Steady, wild, eternal.